Hello, my beautiful souls. First of all, I wish you a happy and joyful 2021. Let it be a year where you finally let your true voice out and you start contributing in this world your most authentic, soulful expression. And that's also the wish that I have for myself, to be able to more joyfully, or it doesn't even need to be joyfully, but more authentically express myself in all situations. And I think in general, like, the main thing that will save us is when we are really willing to be free in our expression and in the way we present ourselves to the world. Then, like, we can finally breathe and be who we are and not put ourselves in a box that doesn't serve anyone. So, with saying this, I want to talk about a couple of stuff on this podcast. I'm not going to say what I'm going to talk about because I'm not really sure, but let's just see whatever comes up, comes up. So, one thing that 2020, I'm ahead of time. One thing that 2020 taught me is definitely that no one can save me. And before that, I would say that I was in deep belief or desire to be saved, to be, seen, acknowledged, and saved from whatever was bothering me. The funny thing is that we all have this desire. We all want to be saved. We all want to be rescued. And it's such a controversial thing because I realized that I have zero capacity to save anyone. I can contribute my part by sharing my voice, sharing my knowledge, sharing my intuition with them, doing magic with them, doing healings, whatever. However, these are all initiations. It's like a moment in time when you have a certain exchange in energy that initiates something within you. And we can have this with many people, and there are many people that can help us, and we can have this initiation happening a lot of times through different people. However, the most crucial part of the personal growth is to actually really deeply integrate whatever was initiated. And this part of integration is totally up to you. No one can do it for you, and there's even not a clear path how it can be done. You cannot read it through the book. You cannot, do so many sessions that the things will finally be integrated. But I would say one thing that is needed is definitely time. And the second thing is to have lots of faith and lots of willingness. I realized this for myself when I was going through all the shit that 2020 threw in my face. Or I should say that some people throw in my face. And at one point, I will probably share the story with you, but not right now because I don't feel comfortable about it quite yet. And I'm always sticking to the rule that I want to talk from the scar and not from the wound. Because, it doesn't serve anyone to really talk from the wound. But it serves a lot of people to talk from the scar. However, what I wanted to say is that I realize how tough we are towards each other, how we are like really not compassionate, and how we think that our lives are just gonna magically resolved and the problems will just disappear, and as long as we get what we want we will be perfectly happy or whatever. And it's funny that we are just chronically dissatisfied with the present moment. And that's something that I acknowledge within myself in the past year, is that no matter what I was going through, I was never satisfied with what was happening in the present moment. So if I was feeling a lot of pain, it was like, oh, I wish this pain was over. Oh, I don't want to feel it anymore, blah, 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 blah. Then, if there was something good happening or I wanted for something good to happen, and when it happened, I was like, yeah, but now I want that thing, and I want to go on, and I want to have this thing. And I would integrate a lesson, and then I'll be, yeah, but I still didn't really, I don't know, find that deep love for myself or whatever it is. And it's so, so interesting that we we evaluate the present moment based on ideas that we have around how our life should look like, how our relationships should look like. And if we are not conscious, then we are really just complaining all the time in our heads and not allowing things to really unfold the way they want it to unfold. And for myself, I would say that when I'm looking back, like many years back, or even like in 2019, I know I've done so much growth since then. And I know that I'm like really able to appreciate the present moment way more than I used to. But there are always layers, and there are certain lessons that we will be learning for the rest of our lives. And it's funny, like, I often write down like a quote in my journal, and then, like, after a couple of months, I read that quote again, and I'm like, oh shit. At the point when I was writing this, I wasn't really getting it. And it's funny how, as time goes by, we keep on understanding things deeper. And it's not even about like understanding it like intellectually, it's like understanding it with whole your body, just like being so, so, so full of that lesson that it just, there's something within you that's just like, yeah, I feel it, I know exactly what it is, I know exactly what's happening. And I think that this lesson, or this is exactly what I was experiencing in 2020 with the whole saving concept. Anyone that is working in the industry of helping others probably has this concept within, or this belief that we are here to save the world. And I've been talking about this a lot in the past before, where I was saying that I think this is one of the main limiting beliefs that we can have, because it's, first of all, it creates a lot of pressure. And second of all, you cannot really save anyone, especially if you're not able to save yourself. And in the end, when you are able to save yourself, when you're able to really integrate the lessons that you gain in life, that's when you are automatically helping others. And our primary focus should not be saving others, but it should be saving ourselves. And it's funny because when we look at another person's life, we think that we have to save them from their pain, or we think we have to save them from their experience. And that energy of wanting to save someone that doesn't want to be saved, maybe in the first place, can be so, so, so pushing. And in fact, we are actually observing, or we are doing things for them that we would want someone to do for ourselves, but without acknowledging that maybe that's not what they need, or maybe that's not what they want. Clear examples are, I had people in my life that were very egoistic and money driven, and all they think about was just, yeah, how to be more significant in this world, how to be more popular, how to have more money. And I always knew that there's something wrong with that concept of like trying to, I mean, wrong. For some people, it's totally right. But from my point of view, it was never the truth that I felt deep within, that I want to be popular or I want to be number one or whatever. It was always like the ego wish, but it wasn't like something that felt authentic to who I am. And it's funny because every time I would see a person being so egocentric and driven by success and driven by money and reputation, I would wanna tell them that life is not about that, and that they should change their hustle into hustling for happiness, hustling for peace, for understanding themselves. And there was often a time where I was really pushing my beliefs to certain people and really wanting them to see that this is not how you will find happiness, that the worst thing is that you get all the success and you're still unhappy. However, what I realized is that I wanted to really deeply understand this by myself. So I was projecting my shit to them, saying, hey, you shouldn't think like that. Hey, this is not gonna buy you happiness. Hey, you're not gonna be any more important if you're super successful. And those were all the things that I wanted to really, really believe for myself. And it's funny because I would say that up until last year, there was a huge part of me also wanting this, also wanting huge success, huge recognition, and, just that acknowledgement that I'm worthy and that I'm okay and that I've done something good. And it's interesting because I had this concept in my head. I was often pushing myself to the point where, I wasn't really enjoying my work and I wasn't really enjoying what I do, but it was kind of like necessary to gain a certain success. And in 2020, because of the whole pain and everything I've been through, I had zero energy to chase success and to chase this external validation. And for the first time, I really took time to just be and just express myself the way I want to be expressed. And what happened is that I realized that so many things that I thought I wanted, I never really wanted. And it's funny that if the situation wouldn't be as it is with whole corona thing and borders being closed and everything, I would probably move somewhere last year because I felt the urge again to go, to explore, to, go and live in a new country. And it's funny because I've been moving so much for 5 years straight that I wasn't feeling at home in none of those places because I was there for like sometimes even just like 4 or 5 months or up to a year. And I also wasn't feeling at home in my home country because I wasn't living here anymore. And it was like a very strange concept that I had in my head of like not belonging anywhere and not feeling at home anywhere and always just wanting to run away and to run into a next destination or whatever. And I was really afraid to, yeah, to kind of grow any roots anywhere. And with taking time to really hear myself and see myself and to really understand what I want for my life, for myself, even if it doesn't give me the external gratification or if it doesn't give me, the validation from others, what would I want for myself? And I realized that I'm craving that feeling of home and that I'm craving that feeling of belonging and that it's okay for me to create deeper bonds with people around me, with the places around me, and with the, in general, like whole country and everyone here. And I feel like, yeah, for the first time in like many, many years, I finally feel at home again. And a lot has to do with me being willing to be there for myself. And when things were tough, I just I was just there for myself and I didn't run anywhere. I didn't seek anyone that would save me. And I feel like just being allowed to go through the process is so, so, so crucial. And only you can allow yourself to go through the process. Like I said in the beginning, there are people outside of you that can really initiate something. They can help you in a way that a process starts, that you get a certain, I don't know, healing done in that direction, that they tell you the right things, whatever it is, or that they're just there for you and hold you close or whatever. But then the integration needs to start. And the integration is, it's not linear, it's not, it doesn't go from point A to point B, it doesn't have any rules. No one can tell you what it looks like except your intuition. Your intuition will guide you in the process of integration because the integration will happen when you follow your heart, when you do the things that make you feel good, no matter what it is. If that means crying out loud or screaming out loud or reading a book or going to new places or whatever it is, just keep following it. And one thing that I know about intuition is that It's often not logical, and it's often scary. But if you are able to hear it, to listen to it, and then eventually go into an action, that's how you're gonna win in life. No one from the outside can tell you how you will save yourself or how will this magical process of becoming more compassionate towards yourself happen. But it's up to you. It's really up to you. And I know for myself that I'm really glad that even when I was in the deepest of pain, that people allowed me space, and that like they didn't push their idea of how the healing should be done to me, and they ex- basically respected the way I approach things. And I feel like that's such a blessing in life, that you allow people to go through their process no matter how much time they need. And that basically taught me that I'm supposed to do the same with others. And it happened a lot of times that I was like really trying to push others to have a healing done, or to listen to certain things, or to do more meditations, or whatever it is. You or me, we cannot tell anyone what they're supposed to do. And we cannot even know if that's going to be beneficial, whatever we are advising. All we can do is have faith in them as much as we have faith in ourselves. Because often I feel like I have more faith in my advice than I actually do in myself, or that I actually do in another person. It's kind of like I believe that if they're gonna do what I'm saying, oh, they're gonna be healed and everything is gonna be perfect. It's such a egocentric thing, but whatever. That's how we are. But yeah, in general, like no one can tell you what's the process gonna look like and what's the next thing you should do. And all these steps and formulas are often beneficial, but it's like when it comes to love and compassion and saving yourself and really being there for yourself, it's about the practice that you do, and it's about willingness to constantly do whatever your intuition is telling you to do. And just, yeah, really trust in yourself. That's what I wanted to talk about today, I guess. I didn't have a clue in the beginning, but yeah, I hope this give you good insights. This was beneficial for me to share it, to let it off my chest, and just be compassionate towards yourself. That's all. We are in this shit together. We got this. There's nothing we can do except trust the process and really let things be. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back soon. Ciao, ciao.